Okay, you guys, so excited to be sharing this technique with you guys. This has been just one of those life-changing things in my life, to add affirmations, to speak what God is speaking over me consistently every single morning. And so I take that time every morning to sit in His presence. Whether it's 5 minutes, whether it's in the car on the way to work, I mean, you just want to be there and listening, but you also want to be speaking. I don't know about you guys, but I mean, so many times there's, so many thoughts coming at me, and they're not all positive, right? So when I can look at the truth that God is speaking in this season and put scripture or truth with it, and then use the oils to just drive that in a little bit deeper, it has made just the biggest difference. And so I'm going to teach you how you can do this at home, okay? And so all you need is just a notebook. I got this cool little notebook off of Amazon. I think it was $6 or $7. So super cool. It's got unlined paper, so I kind of like it because I am drawing some in it, and it's making me be a little bit more creative. And so you can grab anything, you guys. You can grab ruled paper if you have like a journal that you're using. You can get computer paper. It doesn't have to be fancy. It doesn't have to be anything. The biggest part of this is we want to hear what God is speaking over our lives, okay? And so I want you to do this first. At the top of your page, on the blank piece of paper, okay, I just want you to write, what are some things that you believe God is speaking in this season? Okay, maybe it's a verse that keeps coming up. Maybe it's maybe it's that scripture. Maybe it's just words that just, like, you keep seeing them and seeing them and seeing them, and you're like, what is this, God? Maybe it's a Bible character that you just keep hearing stories about. Hey, Kathy. Okay, so Kathy, you're going to join with me. Grab a piece of paper. Okay, I'm going to keep going. Okay, so you're going to grab a piece of paper, and at the top, you're going to put what are some themes that God has been speaking over you. It could be a scripture. It can be just maybe some words that you keep hearing. I've heard over the past few weeks, like Esther. And I'm like, okay, what's this about Esther? So I'm kind of digging into Esther right this minute. Whatever it is, it could be a song that you keep hearing. But I want you to put that at the top. Just some of those themes that you're hearing. Okay? And then underneath that, I want you guys to put some things that you're praying about in May. Okay? Maybe it's your finances. Maybe it's a new job. Maybe you feel like God is calling you to move. Maybe you've got to go somewhere for this month. I don't know what it is. But put that underneath that also. You guys really let your heart tell you, like, what are the things that you, he's just asking you to pray over, okay? So many times our head tells us one thing and our heart tells us something completely different. And so we've got to get to that space where it's not our head that's talking to us, but it's our heart. And so we really, that's our goal, to be able to do that. Okay, guys, so what we're going to do is I'm going to go through this book. This is Emotions and Essential Oils. I love this book. If you don't have this book, I highly recommend it. It has every oil that doTERRA has, and it talks about the emotional aspect of it. Okay, because we know that oils, we use them physically all the time. We don't always use them emotionally. So we're going to really kind of go through these, okay? So here's how I do this. As I work through my oils in here, I just write the oil on the sheet of paper. Okay, then I take a few notes. Like, what is it about that oil that God is speaking? So you can see here, like one of them the other day was cypress. And it was just, cypress is one of those oils that moves everything. It just kind of, it's the mover and the shaker. And so I just felt like God has been speaking this place of, okay, it's time to, move some things out and to start some new things. And so that was the oil that I felt like he was speaking over. So you're going to write down the oil. I'm going to tell you a little bit about it. And then we're going to come up with some affirmations for that. Okay. So we're going to start with frankincense because it's just an amazing oil. And I'm going to just briefly tell you a little bit about frankincense. So a lot of you guys know, like physically, frankincense is just awesome for overall health. If you have headaches, amazing for all of that. But emotionally, it's the oil of truth. So think of God, think of your higher power. It invites you to kind of let go of the lies and deception that you have been following. So here's some of the negative emotions, okay? So if you're feeling any of these, you may need some frankincense. Abandonment, spiritually disconnected, distant from your father, unprotected spiritual darkness. So if that resonated, I want you to put that oil down. Okay, some positive things that frankincense brings is enlightenment, love, protection, wisdom, discernment, to be spiritually open, and to be connected with your earthly father. Okay? So if that is your oil, I want you to write that down. And when you think of abandonment, when you think of just not being connected, what are some affirmations that we can speak with that? Okay? And affirmations are just, let me see if I can think of one. Typically, I write them, I choose, because it's a choice. So I choose to let myself love myself. That was a big one for me with abandonment. I choose to let God complete his purpose in my life. And you can kind of think of your own. If you can think of a great one, feel free to share. If you're disconnected with your earthly father, you can say, I choose to reconnect in a healthy way. Okay? We don't want to go into unhealthy, no boundaries. That's not the purpose of this. Okay? But you can just write out an affirmation. If you're struggling with those, just let me know and we'll try to figure out a few good ones. Okay, so the next oil, lavender. You guys, lavender is the oil of communications. One of my favorite things to do with lavender is to put a drop on the tip of my tongue. Really, truly will give you a voice. It really makes you like say what's going on. It helps you be honest, like emotionally. It helps you be honest. To really speak, like what are your inner thoughts, your inner desires. So here's some of the negative emotions, okay? So if you're feeling some of these, if you're feeling like you've got blocked communication, if you feel that fear of rejection, feeling unseen or unheard, if you're feeling constricted or have tension, have emotional dishonesty, hiding, fear of self-disclosure. So that's all for lavender. So some of what it does is it opens up communication, helps you feel relaxed, helps you express yourself, it helps with emotional honesty, and it helps you be heard. So my affirmation, this is one of my oils for this month, is, and I speak it as if God's speaking it over me. I have given you a voice to speak healing, to encourage others, and speak truth. So that's what I got out of that. My affirmation is I have a voice and it's okay to be heard. Okay, so you can, just kind of figure out like what is it? And you guys, it may take you sitting down with God and being like, and going back in and just listening to the video and saying, okay, What were those words? And God, what are you speaking over me in this month? Like, what is it that I'm supposed to be speaking over myself this month? Okay. Okay, next oil, lemon. Lemon is the oil of focus. So it nourishes the mind, it aids in concentration. It helps you be playful and to be just kind of in your heart, okay? It releases despair and hopelessness. So some of the negative emotions you may be feeling where you might need lemon is confusion, inability to focus, mental fatigue. I think all women deal with a little bit of mental fatigue, lack of joy and energy, learning issues, guilt. So some of what it does is it brings focus, it brings energy, it brings a mental connected. It helps you be alert and have mental clarity. It helps you be rational and helps you be filled with joy. And so one of the ones I would just write over that. I think I'm in the season to where just trying to figure some things out. And so what does the enemy do? He brings confusion. That's just what he does. And so I just wrote, like, God says, that he releases confusion, that's not from him. And he gives me joy and he gives me energy. And I wrote, the joy of the Lord is my strength. And I choose to wear that joy. So that's a cool one if you're kind of struggling with joy, despair. It's always just a really, really good one. Okay, Melaleuca. You guys, I love Melaleuca. It's the oil of boundaries. How many of us need to have a few more boundaries? I think everybody, honestly. I think that's an area where a lot of people struggle. So you guys might have heard Melaleuca called tea tree oil, okay? Depending on what company you're using. We call it Melaleuca. Some companies call it tea tree. Okay, so some of the negative emotions you could be feeling. Parasitic and codependent relationships. Okay, unhealthy relationships in general. Poor boundaries. So if you're doing what everybody tells you to do and you're not speaking up, yep, probably need some Melaleuca. Weak-willed. Okay, so if you have that goal of I'm going to exercise and I'm going to eat healthy and you're not able to do, and you're just like, whatever, I give up. It's not really going to work anyway. You probably need some Melaleuca. And then just toxic relationships. Okay, I was listening to a training the other day and he said, if somebody doesn't bring you up, you need to release them. And I thought, and you need to release them with Melaleuca. So here's some of the positive things it does. It helps with healthy boundaries. It helps us be respectful in our connections. So we can have people in our life, but we don't have to be rude and just all about us. It helps us be resilient. And then it helps us feel empowered. So if you're feeling like, you're just not empowered, like this is definitely an oil I would choose. And so what does God say about that? Well, one, he says he created us to be in community. He didn't say, I created you to be the doormat. He said, I created you to be in community. And that's community that's healthy. So if you don't have that, that's a place where being able to speak the affirmation that God, you will bring the people into my life who will build me up, who will hold me accountable, but who will encourage me and strengthen me. Like that would be a great affirmation for this particular oil. Any other thoughts? You guys, if you have other affirmations, like jump in there. I promise. Okay. Wild orange. You guys, I just had to throw wild orange in because it's just my oil of abundance. Totally my oil of abundance. I love this oil. So it helps with transitions. It supports a positive mood. Some of the negative, you guys, the biggest thing with wild orange is scarcity. So if you're feeling like all the time, like there's just not enough, if I wouldn't, well, I can't spend this because I won't have enough for my bills, or you're always in this mindset of something's going to go wrong. Then you've got a scarcity mindset. Okay. And it typically goes back childhood or before. I can see it generation, just that scarcity has been brought down. If you're over serious, okay, if you're feeling rigid or dull, workaholism, yeah, how many of us have that? Low energy, discouraged, if you're hoarding, okay, or if you're envy of what others have. So some of the things that wild orange will bring is abundance, humor, playfulness, being extremely generous, being spontaneous, being creative, and enjoying life. You guys, this is the thing. God did not, he says in his word, I will provide for every need that you have. And I think so many times we think it's up to us. It's up to me. I've got to go do this and I've got to go do that. And I got to make all of this happen. And God's like, trust me in this process. Trust me that I'm going to provide for you. Okay. And if I'm honest, you guys, this is a hard one for me. Like wild orange stays on my sheet a lot. Okay. He takes off a little bit of a layer, but then it has to go back on. It's just one of those oils. And so my affirmation for me is, God, I trust you. I trust you in my finances. I trust you to provide what I need. And I will see that abundance. And I choose to be generous. I shared a story the other day on Facebook. First of the year, my nephews are 21 and 18. And one of the things I kind of noticed is I'd gotten busy and I just wasn't checking in with them. I wasn't spending that time with them. And one lives in Texas, one lives in Indiana. So you can't just drive and go spend the afternoon or whatever with them. But I decided I'm going to be generous with my time. And so I started once a week. I put a reminder on my phone because it gets a little crazy in my world. And I send them a text message and I just say, I'm so proud of you. How's your week going? Is there anything I can pray over you for? And you guys, the communication that's open in that relationship, just being generous with my time. The other thing I do with them is once a month, I send them a $10 gift card to Chick-fil-A. So I spend $20 total, that I would have spent somewhere else. But I got the sweetest note. I got a note from one of them just saying, it just made his day to get that. And the other one texted me the day and was like, guess where I'm going tomorrow? Chick-fil-A. And he's right in the middle of finals. And so it's just a sweet, just a thank you, And when you're generous with that, you guys, that just brings that generosity back to you. And so, that sometimes I have to remember because the enemy comes in and, uses that, that $20, what could you use that on? Really, it's $20. It's not that much money. I would have spent it on probably stupid stuff. So, but to be generous with my time, generous with my money, to be able to help others. And that's part of why we do what we do, right? So I just encourage you in that. That's been something God and I have just been really, really working on this year. Okay, so let's do, sorry y'all, I had to write down page numbers because if not, I would have to be looking through the book again and again and again and again. Okay, let's talk about digestion. Okay, and some of you guys are like, what? Connie, seriously? That's just for stomach issues. It's really not. It's the oil of digestion, okay? Yes, it was made to support our stomachs, but here's some of the negative emotions if you're feeling these. Loss of appetite for food or life. How many times does life get so crazy or we get so stressed out that we really lose that zest for life? Sometimes even for food. Inability to assimilate new information or experiences, overstimulated. I mean, how many times do you just put up your hands and go, I cannot take one more thing. No more, no more, no more. If you're feeling that way, digestion is a really, really good one for that. It may be that you're apathetic about what's going on. Okay, so you may need some digestion. So what does it bring? It brings positive enthusiasm, nourishment, interest, helps you really bring in new information. So maybe you're at a place in your job and they're asking you to do something new. This is a great place to use that digestion and be able to bring in new information. Okay, be able to really digest that and understand that. So a great affirmation, I think, for this is, I will have a zest for life. I will be able to understand like new concepts, or the things, God, that the new stuff that's on my plate, and I'll be able to understand that and do it to the best of my ability. You're gonna have to sit with God on that one, okay? Because it's a little bit different one. But there's been times where I needed digestion, no doubt. Okay. Breathe oil. I love breathe oil. So it's literally the oil of breath. You guys, this is a great one. If you know somebody who's walking through grief, this oil is just so amazing. So many times people get stuck in grief. Have we seen it? Yep. Or pain. Maybe somebody's going through a divorce, so they're going through, any sort of loss. This helps people who are they feel like they're suffocating with sadness. They're suffocating with that grief. Be able to let go. So here's some of the emotions you may be feeling that'll tell you need breathe oil. Sadness, grief, despair, unloved, difficulty breathing. Okay. I know somebody right now who just lost her husband, and it's like literally just feels like she can't breathe. Constriction, distrust. Okay. If you're feeling any of those, here's what it brings. It brings love. It tells you that you're cared for. It helps you receive. It helps you have the courage to fully open. It helps you to embrace life, to be healed, to be solace. You guys, the thing that the enemy uses the most is our grief, our guilt, our shame. He will use that all day long. He will say, but you did this. And he points it back at you. Or you walk through this. So nobody will ever love you. You'll never get over this. I've lived it. Okay, and putting and using breathe oil, I can truly say that this has been part of my journey. That as I use this oil, I can say, God, you love me and you care for me. And because you do, I am open to being healed and whole. It's been such a big affirmation for me. I hear people say, well, it's just a part of my life. It's a part of my story. It's just always going to be that way. You are not the victim. You are not that person. Okay, you can be healed and you can be whole. You have to choose that. Okay, and we're going to talk about how we use breathe oil to do that. Okay, so a little deep blue. So deep blue is the oil of surrendering pain. So most of you guys know, like, we use deep blue for physical pain. I use it in my roller bottle that has a few other different oils that is my pain roller bottle. So when you deal with emotional or physical pain and it's intense, you can just feel like life is falling literally apart. Okay, and so this oil just teaches you to accept the pain. Okay, it teaches you to say, okay, I'm walking through this pain and that's okay. And that helps you in the grief process to move to the next place. Okay? So some negative emotions you might be feeling: resistance to pain, avoidance of emotional issues, hysteria in painful situations. Okay, if you literally feel like you cannot breathe because you feel like the pain is so deep, deep blue is probably the oil that you need. So it brings you strength, helps you accept what you're walking through. Okay, I think in the Christian world, we think, and I've heard people say it, like, I'm going to accept Christ and life's going to be a bunch of roses. I mean, is it? No. He doesn't even promise that in his word. He says he's going to be there when the bottom end falls out, okay? You're going to feel soothed. You're going to feel serene. You're going to feel cool-headed. So many times when we feel that pressure and we feel like, like the pain is too much, sometimes we get really hot-headed. And it's going to feel like you've been embraced. And so I love this because God's word says he's never going to leave us. He's never going to forsake us. And when we're in the middle of pain, whatever it is, the enemy tries to convince us that we're going to be left, that God's not there. Okay? So when we can embrace that and say, God, I'm not happy about this pain. Okay? I'm not saying don't, he can handle the truth, y'all. I'm not happy about this pain, but I choose to embrace it because your word promises that all things work together for my good. And y'all, that was a big one. This was the oil that started my doTERRA journey. And when I look back on it, it did so much physically. But you guys, I was in this season where emotionally there was so much pain in me. And I have no doubt God used this oil to emotionally start to open up and be able to help me heal. Okay, so kind of think through those affirmations. Like, what does that look like to have strength, to accept the pain, to know that he uses that for your good? Okay, let's talk a little bit about peppermint. And you guys, again, if you don't have this book, go grab it. It's on Amazon or Aroma Tools, either one. Peppermint is the oil of a buoyant heart. If you need joy deep in your heart, deep in your soul, y'all, this is your oil. Okay? Some of the negative emotions you may be feeling: unbearable pain, intense despair, heaviness, pessimism. Just feel like you're muddled. Like it's just taking everything you have to get through your day. Okay? What does it bring? Buoyancy. That just means that you have joy. Have you seen some of these people that, y'all, they're going through the worst just time of their life, and yet they have joy? They might be using some peppermint. To be optimistic, to be clear, to be relieved, to be renewed, to have strength to face emotional pain. Okay, I love this oil. Y'all, it's so amazing for my congestion and for my energy, but it's so amazing to be able to use it to bring back joy. And so, I go back to that place where God says that his joy is our strength. And so, an affirmation you can just, hear, it's just, God, I thank you that you're giving me the strength to face this pain. And I choose to walk through this. And I choose to trust you through it. So you may be in the season in May where the pain is real, but you're going to trust him to get you through it. And that he's going to use it for whatever purpose that he has. And so this is a great oil to use that with. Oregano. So you guys, oregano is just one of these oils that when I tell people, like, you're not going to use it very often. You're going to use it when you get the crud. It's going to be your BFF when you get the crud. But emotionally, I use this oil every single day. It's in the I Am Fabulous protocol. And I think it's in there because we need this oil. So it's the oil that addresses a person's need to be right. to be in control. Now, I'm sure that's nobody. I'm sure it's just me that wants to be right, that wants to be in control. I'm sure it is. Kathy's raising her hand. I know, like it's something that women and men, I don't think it's just women, I think it's as many men struggle with this. We want to be right. And somewhere in our human nature, the enemy has told us, you need to be the one in control. You need to determine your destiny. You need to figure out which direction, which way to go, etc. And that's the lie of it all. And so for me, it goes on every single day. In the I Am Fabulous protocol, it goes on the top of your head. Because you guys, I mean, honestly, we need to start up here in our mind where we're thinking, I need to be in control, and it needs to go all the way through. So here's if you're feeling some of this, you're going to need oregano. I personally think we all need oregano. If you're feeling overly attached, okay, so that could be a friendship that you're like, I can't let that go. I can't let that go. It could be a job, okay? It could be even a car, okay? It's something that you are so attached to that you think your life would fall apart if that were to leave, okay? It could be a husband or somebody you're dating. If you're really prideful, if you're really opinionated, if you're super negative. Here's the thing, y'all. We never think we're negative, right? Somebody else can always point that out in us. Okay? But really listen to your thoughts. If you're joining in all the gossip and you're, going up and you're starting some of that gossip, this may be an oil that you need to really dig into. If you're being excessively willful, so it's my way or no way. So when your prayer life looks like, okay, God, here is everything that I am coming to you with, and I need for you to do it this way, this way, this way, this way. Amen. There's no sitting still and letting God, there's no listening. Okay? And I've had those moments in my prayer life. I've totally had them. Totally admit to this. To where, like, God, I have a great plan. I have a great way you're going to do this. And God's like, no. But thanks for handing me a plan, but I haven't figured out. I'm like, no, I have a better way. If that's you, you might want oregano every day. There might be a reason why I put oregano on every day, y'all. If you're feeling really materialistic, okay, so if you're doing a lot of comparing to other people, well, so-and-so got a brand new car. I need a brand new car. Things like that. So here's what it brings. It brings humility. It brings non-attachment. It brings a teachable and flexible spirit. It brings a willingness to be wrong. And it brings devotion. Can I just say I love this oil? And it's not the best smelling oil. You'll smell like spaghetti sauce for the most part. I like to put a little bit of fractionated coconut oil with it, and I use the touch. Actually, there's my oregano right there. I use the touch on this, but you can. It comes in the kit in a regular bottle, like a big bottle or small bottle. But I had some fractionated coconut oil with it because it's pretty strong. It's really, really strong. But I think a good thing to speak over you is I don't always have to be right. And God, I trust your will. And so I think that affirmation is I let go of my desires and trust you, God. Or something to that effect. Because you guys, this will is more about letting go of your will, letting go of control, and just letting his plan and his will overrule that. Because you guys, I can lay out the best plans. You guys can too. But if God answered every prayer that I have ever prayed my way, my life would be so crazy and so chaotic. And so I would be so miserable. Like, he has sovereignty, and what he knew is best for me was just the place that I needed to go. But that's a place of letting go of my will and my control. And so I would just say, use the oregano, and just asking, like, where are those areas in my life where it's kind of my way or the highway, God? Like, is it in my finances? Is it in my job? Is it in my desire to be married? Or is it trying to fix a husband? Because some of you women are trying to fix husbands out there. And it's really not you God's trying to fix. He's working on him too, but he's also working on you. Okay, so use that. And then last one, let's talk about On Guard for a second. So this is the oil of protection. So if you're feeling attacked, unprotected, vulnerable, or you really cave in to peer pressure, this is your oil. You guys, this oil is the oil of protection. It just protects you. If you're dealing with negativity, this is your oil, okay? It protects you from that. So some of the things it does is it protects you. It helps you realize that you're capable. It's another one that helps with boundaries and integrity, being independent. Okay, so that kind of goes with that peer pressure of doing what everybody thinks you need to do. No, you need to do what God's calling you to do. To feel like you're reinforced, okay? To feel like you have that protective guard around you that, no matter what happens, and I just feel like somebody needs to hear this. Like, so many times we want to make sure we go down the right path, we do all the right stuff, because what if I miss out? What if I miss out? Or what if I don't get this right? Y'all, that's just a lie of the enemy. Okay, and that's part of what On Guard does, is it helps you just release that and say, God, I trust that because I'm connected to you, I'm using my frankincense, I'm connected to you, and I'm having my quiet time, and I'm trusting you, then no matter what I choose, you're going to put me on the right path. You're going to give me the people I need to meet, the people I need to encourage. You're going to bring that husband. You're going to bring that business partner that I need, whatever that looks like. Okay? Because I think so many times, how many of y'all, I struggle with this some days. I just had this weekend because I have to fly out to Texas the end of May, and it's all of these decisions of, well, what day do I fly out? What airline do I fly out on? What city do I fly out of? Because I can't really get out of Knoxville. So it's all of these decisions, and I put this on myself, and the thoughts in my head, the enemy is just screaming, well, what if you do the wrong airline? What if you go out of the wrong city and you were supposed to meet so-and-so? Or what if, this or that? Y'all, it's nonstop, okay? Nonstop in my head. Y'all think sometimes it's not. It is. I need to put some On Guard on. I need to put that protective of trusting that God has this. Okay, that I can hear, I can take, and I can quiet those thoughts and be able to hear that still small voice that says, this is the way, and I want you to go this way. And you know what? If you hear it totally wrong, God's still going to put you on the path and put you eventually where you need to be. Okay? So we're gonna release that. But I love that. I love On Guard so much. Okay, so hopefully, so good affirmation is, God, I trust your path. I trust that your protection is with me. And so I release my will, my purpose. And I would just tell y'all, I have to get quiet before God and just listen to him and just say, what are some things I need to be speaking over myself? And they're typically words. I choose. Okay, you can use the Think Up app. It's totally free. You can record on it 2 or 3 affirmations. Listen to it before you go to bed. Listen to it on your drive-in. I love just speaking over just hearing what God is speaking over me. So I write them down. I highly recommend that. You're not going to get all of this. You may need to go back in and watch it. But go in. As you're speaking these affirmations, here's the most powerful way to do this. Okay, so let's say I'm doing lemon, and my affirmation for lemon is, the joy of the Lord is my strength. So I love just taking a few drops, putting it in my hand, and just breathing it in. Gosh, that smells so good, you guys. But as I'm breathing that in, I'm just saying, the joy of the Lord is my strength. God, thank you. Your joy is my strength today. And so, I wouldn't say choose 11 oils, okay? Choose 4 or 5, whatever was speaking to you. Put those out and put them put them on your hands and breathe that in. Another thing that you can do, I'd love to do this too, is I take a roller bottle, and the ones that God is specifically speaking, I take about 10 drops of that oil, and I just make my own little blend, okay? And then you can just still do that, okay? Super quick in the morning, just rub some in. You can throw it in the car, put it on the back of your neck, put it on your wrist, but just breathe that in. And as you listen to that Think Up app, or as you speak these out loud, just really allow him to speak that. Here's what oils do emotionally for us. Scent is the only thing that releases emotions. So when you got memories that are stored, okay, we all do. That's part of what our brain does. It's part of how it functions. There are some memories. There are some places of guilt and shame you need to release. Okay, and so we're able to do that when we're able to breathe in those oils. So when you're doing this, one thing I do is I will just take and I will write down, like, what are some of those memories that are coming up? Because I may not at 6:45 in the morning be able to deal with those right that second. Okay, then I come back in later that night and I look to see, okay, what is it, God, that you're stirring in me? What needs to be released? And there's just a simple way. I'll just teach it right quick. I love just putting my hands out, putting some oil on, putting my hands out, just closing my eyes and saying, God, what are the things that I need to release? And you guys, he'll every single time bring up things. You may sense it, you may feel it, you may hear it. But as those things come up, speak those out loud. And then what I do is I just put my hands over, because it's just a sign of release. And as I do that, I just tell God, I release this. I release that control. I release this fear, whatever it is. And this is the cool thing, you guys. God only releases something because he wants to give you something. So when you release that, then you want to flip your hands back up and you just want to ask him, God, what are the things that you want to give to me? And as he speaks those, again, you may sense it, you may feel it, you may hear it, you may see it. Then begin to write those down. I love to write those in my little book of just what are the things that I see. So a really cool story. The other day, God's just been speaking this word, and I was like, okay, I just need some confirmation. And so this person that is a coworker, I don't share things with her. She's not that person in my life that I can share things with. It was funny because she sent me an email and she said, I had a dream about you. I was like, okay, go ahead and share it. You guys, it was word for word some of what God had shared in a dream that night. Down to furniture and location and some of that stuff. And then there was a, later on in one of the devotions I read, it was the same exact location. And so it was totally cool because it was just God confirming, I'm speaking to you and here's what you need to hear. Okay, it's okay to ask him for confirmation. Maybe you need some direction in your business. Maybe you need some direction in where you need to go. Ask him. Y'all, lemon is amazing for that. Lemon and frankincense are amazing for that. So just ask him for that confirmation. But you got to get quiet and you got to listen. You can't give him your laundry list and say, okay, God, but here's how it's going to happen. Okay, because it's probably not going to look like you think it's going to look ever. Okay, I can honestly say that just in so many things in my life. So anyway, I hope that's helpful. If you didn't catch all the words or anything, you can always go get the book. I believe you can get it on Amazon. It's a new version. I do not have the latest version. But it's Emotions and Essential Oils. I know you can get it off Aroma Tools, but I'm pretty sure you can get it off Amazon. You guys, it's amazing. I love this book. You can even go on the back of it and just figure out like some of the words that you're feeling. So if you're feeling stressed or like you're feeling stubborn, none of us ever feel stubborn. It tells you the oils that you can use. Okay, it's such an amazing book. So a couple of ways to, some of you guys are not using oils, okay? You guys, doTERRA has an amazing offer this month. When you do the big bottles of oil like this, and it comes with a free diffuser, you get 4 products free. The On Guard toothpaste, the On Guard hand sanitizer. I use both of those every single day. An extra bottle of On Guard, which you'll be so grateful for during the winter time. And then Wild Orange. Okay, that's the home essential kit, y'all. That kit is amazing. That one's $275. But you get the 4 products free. Or you can do the Aroma Touch kit. And you guys, that one has a lot of these oils. It has a few that we didn't talk about. Amazing starter kit. I love that kit. Also comes with a free diffuser. Maybe you're currently using oils. Awesome. Maybe whoever signed you up though just kind of left you. Okay, I get this a lot. I don't know what to do. I need help. Totally here to help you with that. You can schedule a consultation with me if you're already using doTERRA. Okay, if you're not using doTERRA and you just kind of want to know, like, health-wise, what oils do I need? Just shoot me a message. Find me on social media. I'm not that hard to find. Or you can just text me. I think most of y'all are on my text. And just let me know and we'll set up a time, okay? But those are 2 great ways to connect and learn more. And then that also helps you be able to use your oils. So, but this is a great month to get started with these. And so, you guys, I hope this was helpful. We'll try to do some more of stuff like this. This is fun. We love this. I mean, just emotionally, physically, y'all, the oils are amazing. So we just would say, jump on board. Beyond a doubt, it will pay back dividends that you can't even imagine. So anyway, you guys have an amazing night. If you have any questions, again, just text me or email me, find me on social media, and I will help you guys, okay? Thanks.